ready and racing.
Welcome to the Dogcast for Greyhound Racing SA. Visit grsa.com.au.
Yes, welcome to the latest edition of the Dogcast, brought to you by Greyhound Racing SA. I'm your host, Tim Edwards, and alongside me today, of course, is Greyhound Racing SA's racing manager, Shaun Mathieson. Shaun, welcome to the Dogcast. Good to be back in the chair again.
Yeah, great to be here, Tim. Great to have you back in the hosting chair. And it's been a good couple of weeks with the Dogcast, and we've been getting plenty of feature races, plenty of information. We've got a big show planned as well today.
Yeah, there's plenty happening. It's sort of the grand final, isn't it, at this time of year for Greyhound Racing in South Australia. We've got all the big races coming up, and of course this week we're going to preview all of the heats of the 2022 TAB Adelaide Cup this Thursday night. We're going to look back on what a terrific night it was last Thursday night. We had the TAB match race challenge, of course, with Wow, She's Fast, absolutely blowing up the board and running a new track record, Shaun. So we'll talk about that as well. And our interview today, of course, is with Tracie Price, who's going to have Giants Flash in one of the heats there on Thursday night. That's all coming up on today's edition of the Dogcast.
The Week in Review.
The Week in Review is brought to us by Fresh Pet Food Co. They're proud suppliers of fresh pet food for our GAP SA Greyhounds and, of course, the GAP prison programs as well. They're based right here in South Australia. You can visit their website at freshpetfoodco.com.au for more information. Shaun, before we touch back on last Thursday night, we had a big night on Saturday night. Of course, at Wentworth Park, we had the $1 Million Chase, and what a fantastic race it was. I tuned in for this, and He's On Fire, who we know very well, was able to spear out and find the lead. And in the end, he was probably 2 lengths in front down the back straight. But McInerney and Zipping Curios, they're very good run-on dogs, and they were able to get past him.
Yeah, most definitely. I know plenty of South Australians stayed up till 10 o'clock. It was a bit of a late race, wasn't it, for the $1 Million Chase final. But why would you wouldn't want to miss that. Tim Richards, SA owned, SA bred, He's On Fire. We knew he'd lead. I think everyone in Australia knew he'd lead. He's so brilliant out of boxes, isn't he? And once he led, it was really a matter of whether he could pinch enough of a break from what is a wonderful field. I mean, those dogs who sat on him, they're Group 1 performed dogs. So turning for home, he does what he normally does, race around a little bit wide, but he kept going, and the other two got up on his inside. He ended up running third. It's a wonderful effort. I mean, we rode the journey a few years ago with Shadow Mist and Lauren and Ryan, and Tim sort of surprisingly just got there, didn't he, with He's On Fire, but a terrific effort.
I think 6 months ago, if you'd said He's On Fire is going to make the $1 Million Chase final, you'd say absolutely no way. He's a very good dog. He's fast. He's good in South Australia, but he's gone to another level.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was very hopeful that Tim might have got him back and got him into the Adelaide Cup heats. Yeah. But, I mean, he's had a big campaign. He was a bit sore after, obviously, the $1 Million Chase. He's done a wonderful job. So, no doubt, Tim will get him back, get him right. And, there'll be plenty of feature races for this dog. And just his box speed is amazing. So it was great to see South Australia on the national scene yet again, Tim.
It certainly was. On Sunday, we had the Waterloo Cup. It was won by Fly for Tricks for Jane McNichol, and Fly for Tricks has had a terrific last month or so, of course. He represented South Australia in the national series, and that race was at the Virginia Coursing. Tell us about the Waterloo Cup, Shaun. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, there's a long history of the Waterloo Cup. Obviously, it's coursing. 2 dogs match up, and you get down to the final 2. It was a field of 13 for the Waterloo Cup. I mean, it's not what it used to be, Tim. I mean, when I first started over 20 years ago, you had the best 64 dogs, had dogs from interstate coming. There was only 2 states in Australia who do coursing, which is Victoria and South Australia.
So is there 2 dogs racing at a time and the loser's out? Is that how it works?
That's correct, yeah. Right. So, if you have your best 64, then you get down to your top 32, and then 16, then 8, then 4, then 2. And that's the winner who wins. They match up. It used to be run over 2 days. As I said, it's not what it used to be, but there's a lot of prestige around it. So it's a credit to Jane with Fly for Tricks. They're big supporters of coursing, Jane and Ray Fewings. They were able to take out the main event on Sunday, and Fly for Tricks has been a terrific dog for them. The winner of the Derby on the day was 58 for the Turners, and they also picked up the Oaks with Basso's Girl. So a good day there, and I assume all that were out there had a great day.
Okay. All right, that was the Waterloo Cup on Sunday, and let's turn our attention back to last Thursday night. We had the match race series, the SA versus the All-Stars. Match race number 1, Stout Manelli took on Fly for Tricks, and I think many had Stout Manelli winning the race, but Fly for Tricks certainly wasn't disgraced. Stout Manelli ran 30 and 20.
Yeah, he actually began really well, didn't he, Stout Manelli, from an inside to lead. I thought there was a chance Fly for Tricks might be able to cross him early, but once Stout Manelli led, he's a really hard dog to get past him once he's in front. He's got that, that 600-metre strength to him, and 30-20. The interesting part about that was the first couple of races on the night, they didn't run any spectacular time, and I think a lot of people were a bit hesitant about what are these match races what are they going to do? Stout Manelli really set a nice benchmark there, 30-20, close to his personal best, and we've spoken about him before on the show. He's a wonderful dog, and he keeps producing the goods.
Well, as I said before the race on Thursday night, Shaun, going back, start of this year, back late December, November last year, he was in our top 3 greyhounds in the state.
Yep.
So, look, he could certainly do anything if he made the Adelaide Cup final, which we'll talk about a bit later on. Stout Manelli set the time 30 and 20. Then Giants Flash came out, the dog from Mount Gambier, and was able to lead. And Justice Sword, I think many thought, would lead him and he would run him down. But that wasn't the case. Giants Flash came out running and set a new best time, 30 and 15.
Again, the two-dog matchup really suits Giants Flash. And I was surprised that he led. I thought Justice Sword... he is a really fast beginner, but he was crossed early. Justice Sort's not racing in the same sort of form we saw in Queensland. Hopefully he can produce something like that on Thursday night in the heats. But full credit to Giants Flash and Tracie Price. I know he targeted this this series, and I know Tracie was really confident about the time he'd run. And 30-15 set bettered Stout Manelli's time, and was a really strong winner.
Yeah, he was, and he's the sort of dog that can do anything, Giants Flash, and we'll talk to Tracie a bit later on the Dogcast. Amron Boy came out and was able to defeat Victor Grosso in the third match race. Now, this match race was very interesting. Amron Boy led, and Victor Grosso was certainly coming, and I thought for a fleeting moment as they turned into the home straight that Victor Grosso was going to get Amron Boy. They ran the slowest time, 30 and 29.
Yeah, I think once Amaron Boy led, I did think that he'd probably be able to go slightly faster than that. It was the closest match race. Victor Grosso, full credit to him, off the back straight and then turning for home. He really put it to Amaron Boy. Amaron Boy was able to hold him off at the line. Both ran well, but with Amaron Boy, I mean, they haven't come back for the heats, so... Just on that, I think that they were probably slightly disappointing with his run once he led.
Yes.
In that we know he's such a super fast dog, and there might have been something, he might not have travelled too well or anything like that, but he did get the win. Grosso ran well. I mean, clearly his next target will be the Gawler Cup heats coming up in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, he'll be hard to beat in that series.
Yep.
And then, of course, so the time at this stage to beat was 30 and 15, and we thought probably at this stage, wow, she's fast. We expected her to lead. We expected her to win.
Yep.
And to be honest, I thought she would run probably around, 29, 95, somewhere around that time, but based on what we saw of Aston Rupee last year. And then she came out and blew up the clock. She ran 29.86, a new track record. And just calling her, Shaun, it's hard to explain, but when you see a greyhound dart around Angle Park like she did, and you can sort of tell when you're calling a dog how quick they're going. And I sort of could feel down the back straight that she was going to run a new track record. Now, what that was going to be, I wasn't 100% sure, but she just continued to get away from Mally Magic, and not many dogs can do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, what an excitement machine she was. It was a privilege to be there to see her produce that in real life. I think everyone knew that she could do it, but whether she could actually do it, and to see her do it, and her first split of 5.17, I think everyone sort of there was going, okay, this is going to be fast. And then she was 17.37 to the back, and she's got to break 30 seconds here. It's just how fast she went. So 29.86, that's... over a length faster than Aston Rupee, who was considered the fastest dog in the world at the time.
That's right.
She's clearly the fastest dog in Australia and showed that on Thursday night. She's a huge draw card. It was great that Jackie and Kel Greeno brought her across for the match race. By winning, they obviously set themselves up nicely for the Group 1 Adelaide Cup on Friday week. They're in there.
I was going to say, let's be honest, she's only had 2 runs in about 6 to 7 weeks. So she had a trial performance basically between races a couple of weeks ago, and then she came out and she ran in the match race series. So she's going to get better. Yeah. That's the frightening part. And if she draws a box in the Adelaide Cup, we're all going to be watching down the back straight.
She's, she's a promotion in herself. So we've already got people wanting to come just to see her. So the bookings are going extremely well for the Adelaide Cup. So I do encourage people to get on board, make sure you're there, don't miss out in seeing her.
There's no restrictions, is there, this year, Shaun?
No restrictions. So we've got plenty of offerings there. So please, come along. And again, we're fortunate that 2 years in a row we'll see the fastest dog in Australia, let alone anywhere else in the world. Just on the track record, Tim, just to touch on it, obviously the race was a part of an 8-dog field, but she only went against one other competitor. There is no rule or policy anywhere around how many dogs you need to have in a race for it to be considered a track record. It's an event. She's won prize money. It's a race. You bet on it. So for anyone in Australia, she's ran the track record. That's how it's set up. Match racing's becoming more prevalent on our racing calendar, and we love seeing these dogs, run these sorts of times. And so for her to run 29.86, be remembered as a track record holder, I think it's very fitting for her. But yeah, whether she goes around by herself or with 7 other runners, it's a track record.
Who would win, Shaun? Wow, she's fast in a race with Aston Rupee and Hooked on Scotch. Who wins?
Oh, Tim, my goodness. You'd be calling, so I don't know.
It would be one hell of a race.
The commentary box would blow up based on your commentary. You'd have to look at Wow, she's fast at the moment. The draw would matter. We know Hooked on Scotch would sit on them. It'd be a great race.
It would be. It would be a fascinating race, wouldn't it? So the placings, the overall result was Wow, she's fast 1. Giants Flash came 2nd because he ran the 2nd quickest time. Stout Manelli finished 3rd, and Mally Magic actually finished 4th, considering that he wasn't actually the 4th. Well, he wasn't a heat winner or a match race winner, but he still ran good time behind Wow, she's fast.
So just touching on, we didn't sort of mention Mally Magic. It was a good run. He's had a bit of a break. He's come back. Don't worry about the margin he got beat. Obviously, it was track record performance. He still ran 30.29. That's still very, very good. So he'll be much better for the run this Thursday night.
Fantastic. Radley won again, 42.71, just continues to win.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was no distance race for him this Thursday night. He's a level of dominance at the moment in South Australian racing. We have the Premier's Cup on Friday week, Adelaide Cup final night. So we're really looking forward to him being produced there again, and hopefully we get a really strong lineup there, and maybe a 1 or 2 interstators to take him on his home deck. He's in wonderful form though. Yeah, he is, and Russia's Raw won again from box number 8. Of course, he was unlucky in the Derby, and then he came out and won well on Thursday night. Yeah, I think he can win. He either draws 1 or 8, doesn't he? Russia's Raw. So yeah, he's a progressive type for Kim Johnson. Great to see she's got a really nice dog in her kennel, Wild Soul, which was a Greyhound of the Year a few years ago for Kim. That Russia's Raw is definitely on that path. Yep, that's the week in review. That's, of course, brought to us by Fresh Pet Food Co. Look them up, all one word, freshpetfoodco.com.au.
The Preview.
The preview is brought to us by the 2022 TAB Adelaide Cup. It is Friday week, Friday, October 7 at Angle Park. The gates will open at 5 p.m. There is live music from Mr. Buzzy, who's trackside, as well as the food vans, the bars, the kids' entertainment. General admission is free or buy one of our great hospitality packages. And if you want to know more about that, go to greyhoundracingsa.com.au. and check out all the different packages that are available on Adelaide Cup. Now, all we're praying for now, Shaun, is we get some decent weather because we're sick to death of the rain here in Adelaide. No, I agree. Well, the match race last Thursday was nice. This Thursday is going to be, I think, 19 and cloudy. The weekend's 21, 22. I'm hoping if there's rain, it's early in the week, and then Friday sets up for a really nice night. But, the way the cycle's going, hopefully we get some good weather. Fingers crossed, yeah. All right, well, let's have a look at the big night Thursday night. So it's a 12-race program, and the Adelaide Cup heats are races 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There are 6 heats of the Cup, and then, of course, we've got the 6 winners going through, Shaun, and the fastest second.
Yes, and wow, she's fast is waiting for them all.
She is.
Friday week. And now the box draw for that will be conducted on Thursday night. So once the final heat has been conducted, I think after race 9, we'll then do the box draw, which will include all the qualifiers from Thursday night and wow, she's fast.
All right, Heat 1, Race 3, Angle Park, Thursday night. Top Quality, Box 1. It's Smudgy, Box 2. Stout Manelli in 3. Zara's Ivan in 4. Spring Agatha in 6. Hudson Road in 7. And Sino Griffin out in box number 8. Are we going with Stout Manelli here, Shaun?
Well, it is an interesting race. Zara's Ivan I do like. In that it's got some really good form from Victoria. It's gone through the Easter Egg Series and
it ran Saturday night at Wentworth Park, didn't it, Zara's Ivan?
Yeah, I think it was in the consolation of the $1 Million Chase. I mean, the dailies do that. They can bring them sight unseen to tracks and perform.
Yep.
So, but I mean, it's a dog I think that does need or likes the rails. So it's drawn 4. Stout Manelli. If he begins like he did in the match race, it'll be hard to beat. The interesting runner, Tim, is Top Quality for Ben Rawlings. Hasn't been sighted for a while from New South Wales. It has been backed in pre-post markets, so the all-in. So I'd have a big watch on him, but probably Stout Manelli on track sense, just ahead of Zara's Ivan and Top Quality for me. Is that the way you were heading?
Yeah, well, Zara's Ivan has got a 29.57 next to its name back on the 4th of August at Sandown, so it can run time, but I think it'll be giving Stout Manelli a start, and I'm not sure if it can. So I'm Stout Manelli at this stage over Zara's Ivan there, and as you said, Top Quality's, I guess, the query dog in the race, but that's heat number 1. Heat number 2, we've got race 4 on the card. Number 1, Mobile Legend. Number 2 is Aston Ulysses. 4 is Springvale Max. 5, Kenya Razor. 7, Woodside Brocky. And number 8, the Victorian Fernando Mick. Fernando Mick was really good last week, Shaun. He's continuing to improve, and a box out wide in box 8 is certainly no concern to him.
No. I mean, David Gill's team goes really well. I mean, he missed it a little bit last week and then showed really good mid-race and was too good for the locals. Again, I think this race will be dominated by the interstate dogs. Fernando Mick, really good form. Mobile Legend has got really good country form, but don't be discarded by that. He's raced against some really good dogs in his career.
He's run from box 1 as well. So
he's got good speed. Aston Ulysses, we did see here. I think the heats are the 50th anniversary.
That's right.
Paula Bella brought him. He's got, again, good 500-metre form, and he's very strong. So, I mean, I'm leaning a little bit to Aston Ulysses here. I think just with his strength, he might be able to get over Mobile Legend and Fernando Mick. What did you think in this one?
Yeah, I found this difficult. I'm going to probably select Fernando Mick because I've seen him the last couple of weeks and he's going well. So, I've probably got him on top. Look, I won't be totally shocked if a dog like Springvale Max produced something in this race either. We know that he's got the ability and he's run 30 and 38 in the past. So the 2 other Victorians there, I'm just not sure where they're at, Mobile Legend and Aston Ulysses. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's going to win that heat, to be honest. Heat number 3, we've got number 1, Aura Heatus, and then number 2 is Just a Sort. 4 is Charlie's Misty. 5, Alpine Butterfly. 7 is Paddy Wants Pats. And then number 8, Buzz Junkie. Now, it's the dog that came out last Thursday night and won the last race and won it really impressively for the Jovanovic kennel.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 2 main contenders in this have drawn worse. They've both drawn 7 and 8, which was Paddy Wants Pats and Buzz Junkie. They've drawn outside, which does give the inside brigade an opportunity to lead, I think, and pinch a bit of a break. I think this is Paddy Wants Pat on his interstate form is the clear-cut favourite for this, right? But I just don't think it's that easy. I think I just don't know if he'll lead. I think the likes of Just a Sort of Charlie's Misty will lead.
Charlie's Misty's, I keep going back to her and thinking she ran a really big race a while ago. She went up to Broken Hill, I think, there as well for a bit. So I guess she's the greyhound that could ping the lids and lead and can run time.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, she went around in the $1 Million Chase qualifiers as well through the Broken Hill series. So Vadam's done a great job with her. I just don't know if the favourites will be leading here. I still would be going Paddy Wants Pat on class to get him over the line. But I wouldn't be taking really short odds about him. Buzz Junkie's an interesting runner. Was good last Thursday night. For Peter Jovanovic. I think this one's wide open, but I'll stick with the fave here, but not with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I think 7 or 8 might win, but I think Charlie's Misty's got a big chance too. And Just a Sort, well, he was average last week at best, but We know that he can jump on his night, so you never know with him either. Heat 4, number 1, Russia's Raw, who won last Thursday night. 2 is Photo Man, who brings some good form from over the border. Number 4 is Who Told Shorty. Number 5 is French Wish for the Tringroves. 7 is John Dutton. And number 8 is Propelled, who's a newcomer to the Tim Aloisi kennel.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the 1 and 2 here. Russia's Raw. I think if he can begin as he has before from box 1 and put a 30-17 on the board, I think Photo Man's going to have to be at his best to beat Russia's Raw. But Photo Man did run third in the Group 1 Brisbane Cup and won the Group 2 Flying Amy. So he's Victorian trained. He will be pretty hard to hold out. I'm going to lean towards Photo Man, but I wouldn't surprise me if Russia's Raw got one for SA here and went through to the final.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Photo Man I'm with as well. I think Russia's Raw is the danger, and Propelled. Well, Tim Aloisi, we know what he can do getting dogs up for big races.
He does have a good record with these types of dogs, so he'll be a big watch for sure.
Big watch on the markets when they go up too. Heat number 5, Express Speed, drawn the red. He's going great guns for Tony Rasmussen. His last couple have been brilliant in defeat. 2, Zipping Tesla for the dailies. 4 is Giants Flash from Mount Gambier. 5, Hilltop Jack. 7 is Here Comes Pie. And number 8 is Razzle Darrell, who won the other day. So what about this one, Shaun? What are you thinking?
Well, I actually think, we'll talk to Tracie, I think Giants Flash can get the win here. I think if he can begin the way he began in the match race, which there's no reason he can't, he could easily run up alongside Express Speed, or I think will show speed from the inside.
It's going good, Express Speed.
Yeah, but I think Giants Flash can accelerate and go past him. Zippy Tesla's won the Group 1 Silver Chief back in January. Whilst that's a while ago, but he's been really good at recent times as well. But he's not a dog that's going to ping the lids, I don't think. So I think Giants Flash will get his chance to roll to the front. You have to hold out Zippy Tesla late and Express Speed to possibly hang on for third. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with Giants Flash. I want to see him make the final. He deserves it. I've got him on top slightly. I think Express Speed's going to run a big race here. As I said, he's been beaten his last 2, but he's been going really well. And look, I know his time's nowhere near as good as Giants Flash, but he'll ping. He'll present himself a great winning chance at the top of the home straight. So 4 over 1 for me at this stage. And the last heat, well, Dusty Burbsky comes up with box number 1, Mally Magic in 2, Yarramundi Paul in 4, Call Me Buster in 5, Fabulous Ebony 7, and San Lorenzo, box number 8, who was a good winner last start. Who are you going with here?
Well, again, I think the 1 and 2 dogs are the dogs here. Mally Magic's the best, was rated the best dog through the match race series, and so I see no reason why he won't be hard to hold out. Box 2, he'll get his chance. He'll just sit off. Dusty Burbsky, first up on the track. He won the national sprint final for Victoria back in August. He loves an inside draw, but he's slightly out of form, and that's probably a tough call saying that. I think it's going to be a really interesting race. I'd love to see Mally Magic get the job done here, but I'm going to lean towards Dusty Burbsky. He's just drawn that a little bit better, and I think just his class will just get him over, but I think that'll be a real tight one. I was impressed by San Lorenzo.
Yeah, so was I.
Tim,
so was I.
For Lauren Harris, and only lightly raced, not too many wins, but it was a good win here, so it could be a bit of an each-way roughing.
I would like to see Lauren get a runner in, because we know that she's had bad luck with Don't Tell Bluey, who would have been part of this series, no doubt about it, because he was by far and away our best sprinter for a good 3 months there.
Absolutely.
So I'd love to see San Lorenzo make the final, but I do think if Mally Magic gets any luck, he's going to be right there at the end. So perhaps number 2 over the 1, 5 and 8 at this stage. Fabulous series. Looking forward to seeing what unfolds in all 6 of those heats. They're races 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What about a best bet on a tough night, Shaun?
Tough night. Well, I mean, I thought I'll go away from the heats and go to the other race, and they're just as tough.
They are.
So I'm going to go with race 12, Tim, number 1, Strategize.
Yeah.
Thought it was a really good run for Ben Rawlings last Thursday night from a wide draw. Comes into box 1. I think we'll appreciate box 1. Won't lead, but I think we'll get a nice run through. I think Miss Scallywag might ping the lids here and lead, but I think Strategize showed good run home strength last week. So I'm thinking from the good draw, race 12, number 1 for me.
I found it an incredibly hard program to absolutely label one as a good thing. So I'm going to back a dog each way and hope that he gets the right run, because I think he can run a big race at a massive price. Race 9, number 5, Basil Brush Rose.
Right, yep.
I keep looking through this race and I keep thinking to myself, any one of these dogs could win this. Now,
Yep.
I keep watching his last few performances. He keeps finding trouble early and flooding home late. So I'm hoping we get a bit of luck there on Thursday night. I think he'll be, $9, $10, maybe $11, if not more, because where he's drawn.
Yep.
And I'll either be a genius or or something else, Shaun. But I do think he's worth a play each way because I think he's finally going to get some luck eventually. And he can run time. 30 and 77 is going to be good enough to win a race like this. So I think he's a chance at a price.
Well, each way. It's each way. It's
Yep.
It's an 8-dog field.
Correct.
So even if he runs third, I'm sure you'll get plenty of good value
Correct.
there because he'll be good odds. So, but you're right. That's a wide open race. So touch of luck early. Could see him nicely placed.
I couldn't see one dog there all night that you could label and say this just wins. That's how hard the program is. So for those punters playing, perhaps have something on Shaun's moral in the last, strategise, and something each way, mine race 9, number 5. Shaun, that's been the preview. It promises to be a big night there on Thursday night. And, of course, after that race, of course, we'll have the box draw after race number 8. And then, of course, we'll be focusing all eyes on Friday week, October 7 at the Adelaide Cup.
The interview.
Well, the interview this week on the Dogcast is focusing on the Adelaide Cup heats on Thursday night, and Tracie Price, the Southeast trainer, is joining us on the Dogcast. How are you, Tracie?
Yeah, good, thanks, Tim.
Yes, welcome aboard to the Dogcast. It's a winning show. That's what we try to point out here, that most of our interviews end up winning. So we're hoping that that's the case this Thursday night. With Giants Flash, you've got Tim Edwards and Shaun Mathieson with you. Tracie, tell us about the feelings last Thursday night when you set the time of 30 and 15. Did you think that was going to be quick enough?
No, I didn't really. I thought I was pretty happy with his time, and but I knew that we had a good one to come after me. So, but I was more than happy in what he'd done leading up to that race. But to hold her out, like, she's got a name, wow, she's fast for a reason, and she's a good dog. But I think I was pretty pleased. But yeah, it worked out that we ran second. I was happy with that.
Your dog's ran 30.09 there in the past. What's the quickest you think he could go around Angle Park?
Oh, like the day he ran that, it was his. He'd had one trial there prior to that and come out and ran that. I thought at some stage I may have been able to equal the record that Ashton Rupee had, but after seeing the record at the moment, I don't know how we'll go now. But no, he's got a good motor, and he likes to have a dog out with him to go with him, and he finds a lot more if he's got a dog with him,
Yeah. Well, he's had 43 starts, he's had 22 wins, and he's had 13 minors. Now, I noticed he started his career he started at Horsham. When did you get hold of him, Tracie? Have you had him the whole way, or has somebody else had him prior to you?
No, he's been around a little bit. He's been with Gary Harden, and he's been with, I think, Matty Clark had him, and then he sort of didn't really want to be in, he didn't have the racing mood going into a catching pen, so the other part owner took him to Sydney, and they took him up there, but they thought he just sort of a funny dog. He took a little bit of working out, and he'd done a couple of wrong things in his career, but I think we've straightened him up. And he's only been, I think he was there 3 months up in Sydney and had 3 runs, and I got an opportunity to train his sister, which was Minnie Banjo, and I won 7 in a row with her, and the owners offered him to me to send down on the run-on lure, and it's probably been good for the dog and good for me, and their family.
Well, he came to you in January this year. I see his first 11 runs for you, Tracie. He had 10 wins and 1 second. Yep. So you did a hell of a job with him, and he must love Mount Gambier.
Yeah, he does. The finish on lure is certainly what he needs over here. It's the enjoyment of catching at the end of the race, I think. Some people against it, some are for it, but I'm really for it. I've had a lot of problem dogs, but he hasn't been that big a problem. He's just been a great dog, and but I just take my hat off for the owners, giving me a chance with him. So, and his sister. But we won. I think I won 18 with his sister, and probably nearly the same with him. So it's been a good pickup for me.
Yeah, definitely. And you've had some good dogs over the years. So I think Smart Knocker, comes to mind. But how does Giants Flash rank in the best dogs you've had?
Yeah, he'd be the best dog I've had. Apart from maybe Smart Knocker. He he only got beaten 3/4 a length in the heats of the Adelaide Cup, and
He did.
the dog that beat me went on to win the Cup. So, but yeah, he had a few little joint issues and that. So, no, Giant Flash would be the best dog I've ever had in my kennel anyway at this stage. So,
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Go. I was going to say, what's the plan with him if he runs well? Let's say he makes the heats and he runs well in the Adelaide Cup. Does he progress on to something like a Gawler Cup? Would you have a crack at the Gawler Cup with him?
Yeah, got that lined up, mate.
Yeah.
Because it's a run-on lure system there. I'm actually going to race some of my dogs at Gawler Friday, so I've got a bit of trip around in the next couple of days. But that's when my plan is. I'll go to Gawler and then we'll see how we go in the Gawler. All going well. He gets through the Adelaide Cup and runs a bit of a race, but it doesn't matter what happens. I'll still be chasing a run at Gawler and then probably off to Melbourne. I might even. I had a dog called Raccoon. I rate this dog better than him, and he won a Hume Cup. So this dog's he holds a track record over 600 at the Mount, and has ran time in Adelaide over the 595. He's got a massive motor at the end. So
yeah, and we should point out the kilometres that you're doing here, Tracy. You live down at Mount Gambier, and you're travelling to Angle Park. To race on a Thursday night. I'm assuming you stay over. You don't drive back the same night, do you?
Sometimes we do. I've got a chap who works with me, Kevin Patzel, and if he's able to do the trip with me, we come home.
Right.
Otherwise, I'll stay with Peter Jovanovic over there. Him and Leslie have been great friends of me and Karen, and they give us a bed and some kennels, and it's worked out good. It is a lot of Ks where you're doing it's 11-hour, 12-hour trip, going over and back, and then that's not without your time at the track. So it gets a bit tiring, and we get tired, and the dogs get tired. So
of course,
it is a bit. But you got dogs, you got to travel,
and it makes it a bit easier if you've had a win on a Thursday night. It makes the drive back a bit better, I guess.
Oh, it does. Yeah. No, look, it just proves that you can be living in the bush like Mount Gambier and. People underestimate how good the dogs are nowadays, and to take him to Adelaide and do what he's doing, he's proved that we can match it with some of the best anyway.
Have you had a look at the field on Thursday night? Your opposition, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's a big chance. He's drawn where he likes to be in the middle of the track. He gets to the corner and rails in hard. So if we can, I didn't expect him to lead the other day with the one he was up against. Tony Brett's dog. I thought it might take me to the first blue splits and we'd run over him, but no, look, he'll be right in it up to his back teeth. They'll know whether they're in a race once we turn into the back straight. If we're not leading, sitting second, like his run home time is very, very good. So we're in the first two. Look, I rate him pretty good. I don't know whether we can beat Wow, she's fast, but I hope we can make the final and make a rail of it and represent South Australia and Mount Gambier pretty well. So
that'd be the biggest thrill in your career if you made an Adelaide Cup, no doubt about it, Tracy.
Yeah, it certainly will be. I can't win a Mount Gambier Cup, so I don't know how I'm going to go win an Adelaide Cup. So
well, you've got this dog that might win the Adelaide Cup, the Gawler Cup, and the Mount Gambier Cup.
Yeah, that's true. It just didn't pan out in the Mount Gambier Cup. We just got carted wide and it was a massive run, but. We just take every day as it comes, and it's a big thrill for our family with my own kids and my wife, and it's we breed dogs to race, and we get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It is a thrill, Every race doesn't matter you win at Mount Gambier or Warrnambool, Angle Park, Gawler, or anywhere. I'm happy to win a race anywhere. So how
many are you training at the moment, Trace? How many's in the kennel?
I've got 26 I've got in the kennels. Some of them just young pups coming on now. So I've got a couple of good pups coming on. I've got a dog that come down from Sydney. Andrew Garachi sent me down a dog called El Banjo. Well, I trialled in Angle Park. When I trialled Giant's Flash, this bloke ran home 3 lengths quicker than him. So
wow.
We've got a real good staying pup here, I think. So
when will we see him?
Well, I've nominated him. He's been racing. He just met David Peckham's good dog a couple of times in the classic and that, but he's comes home very hard. He'll be in a Gawler. I've nominated him for Gawler, so to give him a look over there and he needs to look at these tracks so that when I get to race 600-metre dogs race, he's going to see a few tracks,
Yep. Okay.
El Banjo, going to be a good pup.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for him. Anything there on Thursday for the punters at Mount Gambier, Trace? Anything there that you think can win at the Mount? Have you got anything in?
Oh, I have, but no, not really. No, I haven't got too much in. I didn't put too many in because we're going to Gawler and then back to Mount Gambier on Sunday. So I'll have Kev bring the dogs up. I'll stay up with Peter and Leslie, and Kev will bring the dogs on through, and my wife will take Giant Flash home and rest him up. Friday morning, so I didn't nominate too many. No. Will he stay?
Will he stay down in Adelaide if he makes the Cup final, or will we go back to Mount Gambier for a week?
No, go back to Mount Gambier. He'll be heading home Friday.
Yep.
My wife will take him home, and I'll meet Kev at Gawler. So
okay.
He'll go home and rest up, and like I could have raced in our 50th anniversary race here at Mount Gambier, but it's worked out for the best that I'm in a good race at the moment, so
you are.
I'm happy to leave those races behind and chase something a bit better for him and for me.
Yep. Well, we wish you the very best of luck, Trace. It'll be great to see a Mount Gambier trainer get a Cup runner in the field, and I'll be cheering for you, mate. I hope Giants Flash goes well because you were one of the first trainers that I met down there at Mount Gambier when I started calling down there. So, mate, I wish you the very best of luck, and hopefully you can get a winner there on Thursday night and get your good dog Giants Flash into the Adelaide Cup final.
Yep, no worries. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Trace. Tracie Price there, our guest on the Dogcast. Shaun, he's got a great dog, Giants Flash. He's I think he's won just under 50,000 in a very short time. He's got a fantastic chance here to make the Adelaide Cup final, and as you know, on Cup night, you just never know.
No, absolutely, and like we spoke of, I mean, he knew he had something pretty special. His first start for him, he broke the track record, running 29.19, winning by 14 lengths in a time-graded Mount Gambier event. So he knew he had something there, and he's progressed really nicely. We wish Tracie the absolute best of luck on Thursday night, as we do for all the runners. We're pretty stoked with the fields we've got. It's going to be a great night Thursday night. Looking forward to your calls, Tim.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic night. And now I'm looking forward to finding this dog, El Banjo. It ran home 3 lengths quicker than Giants Flash. So I'll be scanning the papers to find that dog next time it runs around. So, no, it's going to be a wonderful night, Shaun. I'll be there, as you said, calling the action and looking forward to bringing everybody the heats of the Adelaide Cup. And, of course, Friday week is the big one, the 7th of October. And, of course, next Wednesday we'll be back for the Dogcast again. We'll be concentrating on the big night next Friday night, Shaun.
Looking forward to it, Tim.
Thanks, Shaun.